yourself and tell us what you do in the band.
Jeff Paulick, play bass and sing for the band Lazarus A.D.
You've been on tour with Testament and Unearthed for 3 weeks now. How's that been going?
It's going pretty good, man. It's fun as fuck, dude. It's been the time of our lives. We were just on a Monomarth just before this, and this tour is even better for us. I mean, we're just partying down, throwing down every night. And shows are amazing. Crowd is awesome every night, so we're on cloud 9.
Any good tour stories yet?
Yeah, there's been a couple. One night we were on Unearth's bus, and we were all just hanging out and drinking, and Chuck was on there, and we're all just hanging out in the front lounge. And Derek, the drummer of Unearthed, he's pretty lit at the time, and he's in the back, and all of a sudden you just hear him scream, "Front lounge mosh!" He fucking just bolts towards the front, dude, and it just turns into a fucking mosh pit right there in that tour bus. And Dan and Alex are 2 guitar players, and they're skinnier dudes, and they're sitting there, and all of a sudden Trevor, the singer of Unearthed, he's a big dude, he fucking dog piles on top of them. Then Derek, the drummer, dog piles on top of him, and Chuck's sitting next to me, and all of a sudden, dude, you just see, he's like a fucking kid in a candy store, dude. You just see Chuck airborne, man. I mean, Chuck's a big motherfucker, you know what I mean? So, and then you just got these 3 giant dudes just crushing our guitar players. It was just like, is this really real? Like, is this happening? This is ridiculous. And that was a pretty fun night. We were all pretty blitzed that night.
Sounds like a good time.
Hell yeah.
You originally self-released The Onslaught back in 2007 before signing to Metal Blade, and they re-released it earlier this year.
Yep.
Was there any label interest when you first put it out?
No, none whatsoever. Our label interest didn't start coming until after we did the Earache compilation, did the song on there. That's when all the label interest happened, and yeah, we were pretty bummed when we put it out because we thought we had a solid record, and I think people realize now that it is a solid record. And but it is what it is. We waited, we paid our time into it, and I'm glad we got to remix it because it sounds what we originally wanted it to sound like now. And got the full worldwide release, and we're happy with it.
How did it do as a self-release in terms of sales and response?
The response was good. Sales were really low. I mean, there's only so much you can do from Wisconsin being your own. I mean, we can only reach out so far. We had the CD Baby iTunes thing going, but I mean, it really wasn't much. We pressed 1,000 copies. We never sold them all, so there's still a box or 2 laying around. So you can see that for sales. I mean, it was out for over a year, and that's all it did. So. I mean, we re-released it, and we've already well past that already, so it's a good thing.
Have you grown tired of playing in support of the same album for such a long time now?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, that was the downfall with re-releasing it, especially like songs like Last Breath that we play every night. I mean, we wrote that song, that was the first song we ever wrote. I was a junior in high school. I mean, Christ, I've been playing that song for almost 5 years now. You know what I mean? It's just like, I am dead tired of that. And we're probably going to end up shooting a goddamn video for it. So, because people still like that song, So it is what it is, though. I want to get on to the next record. I mean, I love this record, and obviously people do too. So we're going to tour out as much as we can, but we are anxious to get some new material out and start getting past these songs because they're old to us.
Would you have preferred to have re-recorded it?
No, not at all. I think if we re-recorded it, too many things would have been changed, and it just would have been more of a hassle. Especially, I mean, when we recorded, the recording was there. I mean, we did a phenomenal job. I mean, there was really no point to. Once we heard the test mix that James did, it was just like, yeah, this is it. There's no need to re-record it. It was only out for a year, so it wasn't like we're going back to classics 15 years or something. So, we never had re-recording any of it in the works. So.
Have you worked on any new material?
Yep, we already got a couple, 3 or 4 songs already in the vault. Some more in work in progress right now. We've been playing a new song that we haven't recorded on this tour. So we throw in a little spice for us to keep us sane every night. And people are receptive to it. It sounds it's a little bit different, but it's definitely us. And it's good stuff. People like it, so we're happy.
Different how so?
It's still thrash, but it's a little bit more singing. Not like I'm an emo bitch singing, but it's more like ballsy singing or whatever. And there's a little bit more groove in it. There's a pretty sweet breakdown with a fucking like domination type solo over it. It's pretty badass. I mean, people have seen it. I think there's a YouTube video floating around somewhere of the new stuff, and yeah, it's good stuff. It's just one of the songs. I mean, the next record's going to be just a collaboration of everything that we like. This first one was a lot more thrash. The next one's going to be thrash, but it's going to be an evolution, which I think all bands should definitely do, because if you're putting out the same record 15 times, I mean, why are you playing music? You know what I mean?
Speaking of the new record, when can we expect that? Any idea?
We will not. I can tell you this: we won't even touch the studio until next year. I mean, it could be early next year. Maybe we'll record it and wait to release it a little while. But it all depends on the touring cycle. I mean, if we keep getting bang out tours, you know what I mean, and or bang out, blow out, whatever the fuck you want to call it. If we keep getting those, we're gonna go as long as we can. I mean, if kids keep showing up, I mean, that's the goal. But hopefully next year sometime we'll be back in the studio to bang that out. So
Sounds good.
for sure.
I know you had to change your name to avoid a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Whose idea was it to just add the AD on?
It was actually our manager came up with that concept just because when we did it, because we were just going to totally change the name completely, but it was like, goddamn, we've been doing this for a while. Already people know us as Lazarus, and then Metal Blade stepped in and said, yeah, we want you to keep it as Lazarus. You got to add something else to it. So we're like, all right, fuck. And we couldn't come up with anything cool. It was just like, well, we'll do the AD. It was like, yeah, that's kind of gay, but it's like, well, but it's very not noticeable. You know what I mean? We can throw it in the logo real tiny, and it won't look as, you know, lame or whatever, because, you know, there's like Martyr AD and some other AD bands, and it's like, I don't want to get grouped in with them, you know what I mean? I want to be my own.
Right.
And it doesn't matter though, because people still call us Lazarus when they're chanting our name, and, you know, and it is what it is, you know? I add 2 letters and I avoid a lawsuit, fucking A, dude. Just whatever. They're, I think we are light years beyond anything that they've, the original Lazarus has ever accomplished at this point, so that's their loss, man. When they're doing whatever and people say, oh, you're in Lazarus, you look a lot older now. Yeah, okay. Sweet dude.